How we doing, everybody? DommyGun Rici here. It's Saturday morning. As you could tell, how Saturday mornings go around here. Another intro, another technical issue for me in the morning, but that's just the way it goes. But that's not why you're here. You're here to get winners. You're here to talk about baseball. You're here to get some insight on some games and disagree or agree, but together, coming together with some winners. And, that's what we try to do all the time. A lot of guys out there, be careful, and I'm not telling you to watch me all the time or whatever. And, we all know we go up and down, up and down. I've been on a good run, but we always know that those losing streaks aren't too far behind us. But a lot of guys out there doing a lot of shows with negative records, guys that don't even bet 10 games a week, giving out plays every day. A lot of that stuff's going on. I'm just saying, being careful. There's a lot of good cappers out there doing shows and giving out some information. And by all means, am I saying that I am one of the only ones? That's for sure. So, I just try to do my best. Love talking baseball. Love being here with you guys, and I appreciate anyone coming in. Saturday morning, baseball started back again yesterday. I did a show with our friend Marley Betts at Brothers and Betts with Moose Money and picks from Dave. I know I had a good show, decent. It was a winning show, so that's always good. And I think that we all did, actually. One play that we really didn't talk about on the game yesterday was the Astros, but that Dave mentioned that he was betting. And it was a game I was on the fence on, and when I heard that he liked it, even though we didn't discuss it, I jumped on it and hit that Astros plus money yesterday. Had a good day. Had the Phillies, and they lost. Let's just go back a little bit to yesterday. First game back from the All-Star game. Maybe some things might not be expected that happened. And then again, maybe not, right? I did have Philly. That was a loss. I was leaning Miami. Glad I didn't take them. Sandy didn't let up too much. Let's see. One run in the second, two in the fourth, and then they scored two in the eighth, 5-2 loss. Baltimore out of the gate came out good. I did have the Mets first, the Mets under 8.5. Mets looked terrible coming out of the gate. With Verlander, I thought would pitch a better game. I know our friend Picks from Dave did take the Dodgers, I believe, at about a minus 125 or something in that area. So it was good for both of us. I had the under 8.5, and actually Verlander didn't give up 3 runs into that fifth inning. Then the Mets gave up 1 in the sixth, 1 in the eighth, 1 in the ninth. Could not get on. Could not one hit the Mets had last night. Terrible. And like I said on Marley's show, which is no great prediction, the Mets are just about out of it. They lose this series. They're 2 series away from ending their season out of the next 3 or 4 series. If they don't win 2 out of the next 3, I think they're done. 2 out of the next 4, they're definitely done, if you ask me. And you know me, I know my Mets. But we'll get to that game today because I did bet them today and I do like them today. So we'll see what happens when we get to that game. But what else did I have? Yes, I had the under. Way off on this one. I had the under 8.5 in Texas versus Cleveland. I thought Gray would pitch a little bit better. I thought I didn't think either team was going to hit, really, and boy, was I off on that. Texas just demolished them. I don't think Cleveland's not the team for me. They don't have the pitching. I know a couple guys like Cleveland. But, they're in a crap division. It's a division that's going to win 500 games. Cleveland's not sneaking up on anybody like they did last year, and that winning formula they last year with winning those low-scoring games and stuff. I don't know if it's going to work this today. And as far as getting to today, I like too many games, be honest. But I do have a few leans. I got 3 or 4 bets for you, and I do got a couple leans. One of them being this over in this Texas Cleveland game. I think the kid Williams gets rocked. Heaney's no great pitcher. I think Cleveland might. Actually, I think Cleveland's bats may be waking up a little bit, and I wouldn't mind recommending that over. It's probably at 9 now. I know it opened at 8.5. I also had the Boston Red Sox yesterday. I thought that was a great pick. The line kept on moving to the Boston's direction. I caught them at minus 117. I know our friend Dave Rogers, picks from Dave, got it at minus 120, I think. So we got it both at a decent price. I think it went off at maybe 130-ish. So, that was a good one. And that was it. So that was yesterday. Today is today. Yesterday I won with the Reds first 5, under 5.5. I had 2 units on that. I love that bet. I love that bet. Too many people, and here's my tip for today. I have 2 tips. My first tip is these season stats now, you can start to eliminate them. Little by little, eliminate these full season stats. Don't try to get make the stats correlate to who you want to win. We can always find stats and read into stats to make us sound like our pick is better. That's really the opposite way you should be handicapping. You should be looking at the numbers, the stats, the analytics, and then forming your bet. Because I hear too many of that ass craft nonsense. And if you look at when he came back, I know he had one outing that wasn't great, but he was injured. He did come back. And, he pitched a good game yesterday again. So I had that under 5.5, which was not popular. A lot of people bet the over. Everybody thought that game was going to go over. It was a rare 2-unit bet that I made. So luckily I hit that one. I don't make many 2-unit bets. But if it's 1 out of 50, that's a lot. But same as I don't bet too many run lines. So that's that. So that was yesterday. Couple, 4 wins, 2 losses. Who cares? Let's go on to today. Craig Wood, you're on. Thanks for coming in, Craig. Thanks for the support, man. You're always here, and that's cool. We're just trying to, instead of just being our hangout Who-Bangin sports, which we've been doing from the beginning of the low baggers, we're really the oldest low bag consistent site that's out there is Who-Bangin sports. We started it 6 years ago, and it's never changed, so there's something to be said for that. But now that we're trying to get more into the mainstream and we're starting to be more doing our thing and not really caring about what everybody else is doing, guys like Craig, helping us out and always here really means a lot. So I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, I like that. Did you get the 8.5 or did you get the 9? I see you on that, and I already said I'm on the fence on that, so that might push me. I wanted to just see where the money was going, but that was that. Quick notes. Going into the All-Star break, I mean, a couple teams are really playing bad. Baltimore was one of them, and they bounced back last night and played a good game. Baltimore's a tricky team. It's a team I like. I think they're going to hold up. They're better than the Yankees, the way I see it so far. I mean, their bats sure are. They could use a little help in this. If they could get a big starting pitcher before August 1st on this trade deadline, that would be great. I mean, I know it's never, ever going to happen, but if you just look at what's up, Fo Patashi? If you look at, if I'm saying that right, one of these days we got to talk on the side. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. What was I talking about? Oh, Baltimore. If anybody could use a guy like Ohtani, a big pitcher and a big bat, it would be the Baltimore Orioles. Like I said, not that people are going to. I mean, not that he's coming to. I don't even think he's coming East Coast, to be honest with you. I think he's going right to L.A. to the Dodgers. That's where I think he's going. But anyhow, a team like Baltimore, my point is they could use another bat, but they could really use a big starting pitcher. If they could get one of these guys, I hear some rumors about a couple of those White Sox pitchers. There was a rumbling about Corbin Burns. I would love to see the Mets try to grab him, to be honest with you. But, yeah, so Baltimore, we'll see what happens for the second half. But the team that really limped into the and it's just every year, they're just an ignama. I think that's the right word. I was never known for my vocabulary. Even though I was a Catholic school boy, I'm never known for my vocabulary. The Angels, last 14 games coming into the All Star break, they were 25th out of 30 teams in runs scored. And the worst thing is they were first in strikeout percentage. They had the highest strikeout percentage the last 14 games before the All Star break. That is not. That's something to I don't know what that team's going to do. They got Rendon's hurt still. Trout is hurt for 4 to 6 weeks. What do you do with Ohtani? He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. Do you try to get some players for him? I mean, I know any team that takes it, it's a rental, but you never know if maybe he wants to stay. I don't know what teams could afford him. I don't know what teams he could really fit. I don't think the Mets is a good fit for him, to be honest with you. I don't want to give up Alvarez. I want them to pay Alonso, and you might think I'm crazy, but I want Alonso to stay here for the duration. He's another David Wright. He's another Mike Piazza. He's the soul of our team. I don't want him to go nowhere, so that's it. Comic Ricky in the house. What's up, brother? How are you, Ricky? Ricky March. Good to see you, brother. Hope Donna's doing good. Hope the grandkid is fine. So let's get to some baseball. Let's get to some baseball. Let's go into today. I'll try to go over a couple of some of the games. Like I said, I got 3 games, 4 plays, a couple of leans. I might have 5 plays with this over in 2. Craig, would you say the money was on the under, the line moved up, sealed it? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like that. Very cool. Yeah. I agree with that, but I don't attest to the thing where Steve Cohen, just because he has an endless amount of money, that he's going to spend it on the New York Mets team. Does it make sense? Like Ohtani definitely fills the seats, right? And you can make a case that he's really not that expensive because in shirts alone, he's probably going to sell what his contract is. Could you imagine? They really talk about him going to the Yankees more than anything is what the real talk is, and at least in New York. And could you imagine Ohtani Yankee jersey? They'd be selling they sell $1 billion of those damn things. So when you think about contracts and stuff, sometimes you don't think about the add-on things that can help pay for that. But regardless, I agree. Steve could pay for a lot of things, but I don't know if it's a fit for the Mets. We would have to give up too much. And what do we do? Rent them for the rest of the year? Give up a couple, or try to go for that. Now, at the end of the year, there's free agency, right? So now there's going to be the bidding war. So, listen, the Dodgers freed up money last year and this year. Look at the big players that aren't there anymore. Look at the Trey Turners, and there's a lot of players that aren't there no more that had some nice contracts. The Dodgers are I think, are lower in their spending this year than within the last 10 years or whatever it was. I forgot exactly what I read, but if you look at who they got rid of in their contracts, they're ready to spend a lot of money. If it's going to be on Ohtani, I mean, is that a fit? Yes. For the Dodgers, yes. Kershaw's getting old, but I mean, but the one thing about Ohtani, I'm not the biggest fan for Ohtani, so it's obvious that I'm not a big Ohtani fan. I don't want to give him 10 years. I don't want a pitcher in a DH that doesn't play the field, and a guy that I don't know what's going to happen in 2 or 3 years. Could this guy keep up the pitching and hitting the way he does? I mean, it's phenomenal, and nothing against the. I mean, the guy's a one in a lifetime thing, but we'll see what happens. We went against them yesterday. We took the Astros. The Angels are in bad, even with Ohtani and Trout all these years, the Angels as an organization are just terrible. With those 2 plays, they can't even make a run to the damn playoffs. But to end that story, hey, Tori, good to see you, man. Hope you had a good little break, and hope everything's going good, man. Tori Coca, another good supporter of Who-Bangin Sports, another, one of the guys that I know follows Tease a lot also, and it's well appreciated. To finish up on Ohtani, the hell with Ohtani. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a couple of those games. Yeah, I hear that. You wore the jersey yesterday because it was his last game. Yeah. So what I was going to say about him, since we brought that up, is that He didn't pitch in the All-Star game, and he only had one at-bat. I thought that was a little concerning. And there was a reason why he went against him yesterday, and also because when we were talking about games, I was talking with Dave Rogers, and he liked the Astros, so I jumped on the Astros. But yesterday, he did have that blister issue before the All-Star break, and the way I looked at it is that for a fact that the Major League Baseball wanted him to pitch. I would think they would probably wanted him to start instead of even Zach Allen started, which I'm not saying he wasn't deserving, but Major League Baseball for the national exposure wanted Ohtani to pitch. The fact that he didn't pitch, I really thought that he might not be 100%, and he didn't have a good outing yesterday. So we'll see what happens, but we did witness something that we probably won't witness too many more times with a player like Ohtani. All right, let's play ball today. First game up, which I'll tell you if I'm on the game or not. I'll give you something a little quick if I have anything for it. First game, Phillies against the Padres. I did have the Phillies yesterday. I thought they were a good bet. They didn't show up. It looks like, even though I compared the Padres and the Mets a lot, and I still think they're kind of mirror images. They got all the talent in the world. They got all the pitching that they should need, and neither team is achieving what they're supposed to be achieving. But it looks like San Diego's getting it together a little bit more than the Mets are. That's for sure. I do like this price. I think this price now went from 115 to 135 on Philly is intriguing. I don't know. Gun to head, or say free bet, if you wanted me to bet this game, I would be on Philly today, even though Taijuan Walker, he did go 10-3 this year, 4.02 ERA. Blake Snell, who owns the Mets usually, 6-7, 2.85 ERA, versus his last four Snell has pitched good, but not so great against Phillies, and the Phillies starting lineup against left-hand pitchers, their last four games, left-hand pitched 17 innings against them. Phillies scored over 9 runs. There was a 9 ERA. So I know I'm saying this screwed up. The last 4 left-handed pitches the Phillies faced, it was 17-2 innings pitched, 9.68 ERA. 2.5 homers per 9. That's high. That's a high thing, and a 1.70 WHIP. So that's closing in on 2 WHIP. So 2 batters every inning on base. They have been hitting left-handed pitching. I talked about Philly yesterday. Their bullpen's ranked number 7. They're playing a lot better ball. I did back them yesterday in a loss, but I do like Philly today. I wouldn't mind backing them in that game. Could see some runs scored in that game, too. Tampa Bay, Kansas City, I have nothing on that game. Tyler Glass now is pitching now, is going to pitch today. So I guess that game got rained out or delayed last night. What happened? I thought it was pitching yesterday. There might have been a switch. What can you say about Glass now? You could go all day about it. And he's facing the Royals, who I have all the rankings I did for the half a year, at least through the numbers I follow, and which I'm sure they're all real. We're all really close. I got the Royals as the worst bullpen in baseball. I'm sure that's no, I'm sure everybody has their bullpen as the worst, if not second to worst, right? Then we got Boston again. Boston against Chicago. Paxton against Stroman. I am on this game. I did take Bello yesterday. I took Boston yesterday. I like the kid Bello a lot. Bayo, I guess it's spelled Bello, but it's pronounced Bayo. I'm assuming we got to get confirmation on that one of these days. I like Boston again today. I did take Boston minus 105. Listen, Paxton's last 5 starts, 3 earned runs or fewer. Let's see. Where is that paper? Let's go to the last three first. Let's see. Last three. Of course, I was capping on the fly Saturday morning. This was not an easy show to get together. Paxton's last three starts, he went 2-0. He pitched 17 innings total in the last three, so he went deep. 1.53 ERA, under a 1 whip, 0.79. 13 strikeouts, 3 home runs, a little concerning. But the team won 6 of his starts. Like I said, his last 5, 3 earned runs or fewer. What the hell did I do with that? Stroman, I think something might be he might be a little bit hurt. If you look at his numbers and why I say it's time to start throwing out some of these full year stats. I mean, they're good for context, but I think it's time. I don't use a lot of them. As far as I'm concerned, after the All-Star break, I'm using like the last 6 weeks and then last 4 weeks, things like that. Strowman, I think since that London game has not been the same. Let's see what we could. No, that was that was yesterday's. That was yesterday's game. All right, here, just give me a minute here. What does Stroman do the last three? Stroman, 14 innings pitched, 0-2 his last three, 7.71 ERA, 1.71 WHIP. He did have 15 Ks, but he does not look like the same pitcher as he did in the All-Star break at that game in London. I don't know, man. Between these London games, these world classics. Oh, that's right. Phillies game got suspended yesterday. That's right. What's up, RV 420? Razor Sharp's in the house. What's up, Razor? How's my boy Razor doing? Razor, myself, Big Ragu, and Connor Mack. We did a show on Thursday night about the second half of baseball. It was a good show, a lot of good information. We talked about what we thought about different teams and stuff. I was a lot more organized, and if you get a chance, go back and listen to it. Some really good information put out. Things that it's fun to listen to the way you guys come. That way we all come from a different direction in handicapping and stuff. And yeah, it was a good show and a lot of fun, and I appreciate Razor. Always there for the support. And always check out Razor Sharps. He's doing the horse racing now a couple days a week. Razor Sharp picks. He has his service. He's one of the few. When I talk about buying picks and recommending services and getting some help from different people, he's one of the ones that I definitely would recommend. And I don't recommend many, that's for sure. All right, let's talk about the Cubs fading away. It seems like they're fading a little bit. They were a hot team. They don't have the pitching to last the whole year. That's for sure. Paxton, 5-1, 2.73 start. His numbers away aren't as good as his numbers at home. If it's like average of about a full run difference on away per 9 innings than home. 3.18 ERA away, 2.05 at home. The FIP 4.05 away, 3.05 home. Blah blah blah. But where he does excel is with the righty lineups. And the Cubs, if you look at those Cubs lineups, they're like 7, 8 guys. Their normal lineup is mostly righties. Let's see. His numbers against righty lineups, he's given up basically only 1 run per 9 innings. It's kind of like his ratio against righties. Those lineups are 243 against his numbers, 243 WOBA, a 32.4 strikeout percentage versus righty lineups, 0.82 WHIP, 3.20 xFIP. Good numbers. His last 5 starts, 3 earned runs or fewer. Paxton, like I said, some of it, if you look for the whole year, you'll see, his numbers for the year, especially away, weren't great. But I think he deals today. I think Boston's bats get to Stroman. Stroman has had luck against Boston in recency. Last 4 versus Boston, 2-1 with a 1.18 ERA, a 1.29 WHIP. But the versus these where was that Stroman? Okay, Here's the thing about Stroman, though, and again, talking about the full year and looking at his last few starts. His last 3 starts, 1.71 whip, a 3.54 xFIP, and a 7.71 ERA. So Stroman's been getting hit. Versus lefty pitchers, the Cubs, lately, bad numbers. Last 30 days, 21st in WRC plus, 13th in ISO, so about average, and 22nd ranked on OPP with a 305. So they're not hitting lefties. They're not hitting lefty pitchers. Paxton is pitching better and better. He's keeping teams down to 3 earned runs or less his last 5. All that being said, I took Boston minus 105, I think it was. That's what I took. Next game up would be, let's see. What's the next game we're going to go with? And you guys on any games, let me know. Again, I'm going to try to get to that Texas over. It's a game that I like. Another game that I'm on until I keep my stuff keeps on popping out. So let's talk about. Here we go. When in doubt, always go to covers. What we used to call the Bible back in the day, because it was the first one really to really have an online presence with gambling. And whenever I'm stuck, whenever my sites are screwing up and I need my general information, I still go to covers, man. So just something that I just do and still do. Not that, So the next game up, Arizona against Toronto. I like this game a lot. The D-backs are a team I backed a lot this year. It's also a team I think is not going to hold up. Again, do they have the pitching? It's all about pitching the second half of the year. Do they have the pitching? Do they have the let's see where their pen ranks also as I'm talking. But Arizona's pen is ranked 18th according to my numbers. Toronto is ranked 2nd, their bullpen. So big advantage there. Gossman versus Gallen. Now, Gallen started the All-Star break. We talked about this with Marley yesterday on his show about, factoring in the All-Star break. And I didn't even watch the game, actually, so... but I know what happened, and I did the old recap the next day and things like that, but... I really didn't watch the game. And Zach Allen started, and he should have started, but he started because of his home numbers, not his away numbers. And that's what's concerning about the D-backs. D-backs last 14 games before the break stopped hitting right-handed pitching. An 80 WRC plus, so that's below the 100 for the people that don't know. 100 is the average number. So under is not good. An 80 is not a good number. That's ranked like 25th. On base percentage, they're ranked 24th. ISO, they're ranked 17, and that's versus right hand pitching the last 14 days. Gaussman. He's always dealing it. He's a 24% K rate, so a little higher than the average. I believe the average is a little bit under 22%. He has a 196 on base average, a 5. He's letting up a 579 OPS at home, a 2.58 ERA, a 2.64 WOBA. Home runs per 9 innings, under a 1, 0.76. So he's letting up like 3/4 of a home run, let's say, in a 9 innings. So if you put that out, it's like every 4 games, it's like 3 home runs or something. And under a 1, just a tick under 1 on his whip. D-backs versus right-hand pitcher. We talked about Gaussman's last 8 starts. He is 6-0. With a 1.64 ERA, a 0.93 WHIP, and in those 8 starts, his home runs per 9 dips down to 0.2. So, a lot to say for Gaussman. 7-5 for the year. Records don't mean much. 3.04 ERA for the year. Here's my thing with Gallen. He started the All-Star break, like I said, because of his home numbers were great. 1.48 ERA, 2.23 WOBA, under 1 WHIP, xFIP at 2.70. But if you look at his if you look at his away games, 5.08 ERA compared to 1.48. That's big. 3.7 WOBA, a 1.31 WHIP. So that's now you're over that one base runner per inning. A 4.48 xFIP. So his xFIP is going up a little bit. Gallen's, he did pitch. He had a big, exciting day pitching Tuesday, opening for the All-Star break. Now comes back, has to pitch against the Toronto team. Had to go to Toronto to do to play the game, which isn't probably. I mean, he probably was there earlier than the team as far as he probably went from the All-Star game right there. But there's nothing I like about Gallen today. I took the Blue Jays. What was the number? Was like 120 something. I'll find it when I'll get to it. But I took the Blue Jays today as one of my other plays. Yep. Yes. Yeah, Craig. His you're right about that too. Lifetime, there's some great numbers against him lifetime. I actually heard somebody say that they wouldn't be surprised if he was like a silent owner in the team. He deals against them so well. He's there's a lot to say about those numbers, Ben. You're 100% right about that. So I am on the Blue Jays. I think they are a good bet today. It's not a team I back too much. Tricky team, the Blue Jays. They got the pitching. My boy Chris Bassett. He's kind of tricky. I don't know what's up with him in his head. He talks about how he don't believe in advanced analytics and stuff, and I just think that's crazy that he made that statement. But Toronto's a weird team, a team that should be there. That AL East, just by the way, quickly, and I'll try to find the number before we get out of here. They had a great year against the other divisions. If you look at the American League East teams, when they're playing teams outside the division, they all have, or mostly every team in that division has a positive record. It's pretty amazing how the American League East is dominating the American League. Next game up, I talked about. Did we talk about? San Diego Phillies doing the doubleheader. Ranger Suarez is pitching that game. I was kind of leaning under in that game. Who's San Diego starter for that game? Weathers. So we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens with that game. Next game up, Arizona. This game I'm on the fence about, and it's a game that we talked about. Craig is on the over 9. Texas. Andrew Heaney against Galvin Williams. I like the kid Williams. I think he's going to be a good pitcher. I also think that Cleveland is... I think they're going to start hitting the ball a little bit better. I think they're not going to be... I think their bats come alive a little bit more so than they do. They're used to winning those 3-0, and when they do win, there's always those low-scoring games, 3-0, 5-2, 4-2, things like that. We see that a lot. So Cleveland's a tricky team. They're not sneaking up on anybody this year, Cleveland. That's for sure, right? They're not sneaking up on anybody like I felt like they did last year. They snuck up on a lot of us, and when it was all said and done, they didn't again have the pitching to go far. But I wasn't. I'm not a believer. Yesterday I did have the Rangers under. I didn't know if the Rangers were going to come out and do so well. I thought Savali might have had a better outing. I did take the under. That was one of my losses yesterday. But today I do like this over. It was 8.5 when it opened. Craig took it at 9, and I would still recommend it at 9. And I will get there on this bet since I talked about it too many times. Uh, let's see, Rangers bats versus right-handed pitching. They're fourth in WRC plus with a 118. That's up there. They're fourth in ISO, almost a 200, and they're seventh in on base percentage. So. There's some good numbers against that right-handed pitcher. Heaney at home, 5-2 bodes well to the for the over. You know, and sometimes when I'm on a game like this, I'll tend to maybe go to the team total over, but usually I don't like taking the visitor. But that doesn't really sway me as much as it does other guys. Taking the team total with a visitor because of the last at bat. Run lines is a little bit different, but Heaney at home, 5.29 ERA, 3.55 WOBA, 1.7 home runs per nine. So he's almost up there to the 2 home run spot per nine, which is a high number for starting pitches. And you see a lot of them under 1 or 1-1 and 1-1-0, 1.20, things like that. 5.25 FIP at home. Mr. Heaney. Gavin Williams got the 4.01 ERA. Let me see if I got anything else on Gavin. Let's see. Sometimes I like just capping on the fly. Me and Nolan used to do this show, Light It Up, the same show years ago, early in the morning too. Especially it was really early for him. He was on the West Coast, but he was up early for work, and we would just not even have games picked. We would just cap on the fly. It was kind of fun, and something I like doing. Gavin Williams through his 4 starts, 4.01 ERA, 4.72 xFIP, 1.5 home run per nine, and a 1.09 whip, which is good. I like the kid. I think he'll be all right. I think he's in a tough spot versus this Ranger team that a lot of people have a target on them. A lot of people don't think they're going to be as good as they were in the first half. I've heard some things in which you got to keep your fandom out of this stuff, guys. I know guys that don't like the Texas Rangers, especially some of our friends that live down there in Texas and in that area, and they don't like the Rangers for whatever reason, and they're betting against them. But let me tell you, and they're all saying that Texas is gonna fall away in the second half. Let's see if they make a move for another arm. I do think that they would do for some, I hate the word regression for some reason, but and just the way it's used. But you did think they were going to fall off a little bit with that plus 148 run differential. I mean, Jesus, how they weren't going to keep it up the whole time. I think they're in the second or third in the league. I think Tampa maybe had 149. That was going into yesterday, by the way. That was before yesterday's 12 runs that they scored. But I still like Texas. We got all that said and done. I thought the DeGrom arm DeGrom going down, I thought was going to be a big thing for them, and they seemed to go, seemingly right through that. It didn't seem to affect them. Evaldi, blah blah blah. These guys were pitching. The staff is pitching good. They do have a couple little, flaws in that staff, like I said, but I like this over today. I think both teams can hit. I'm not giving up on Texas. That's another team when you mentioned about an arm and a bat, like an Ohtani type. Like for Texas is but who would they give up as the rental on the trade? My whole thing with that is that the Angels are going to get nothing for him. At least let them try to get some good young players, or. I mean, if they actually traded Trout, check this out, because A-Rod talked about this I was watching a show the other day. A-Rod was on a show that Henry Lundqvist, Rangers goaltender, has a show on MSG or whatever the hell it is in New York. I don't know if it's on national. I doubt it. And he was interviewing A-Rod, and A-Rod said, think about it. If the Angels, who are really going nowhere, don't have the pitching, they have a couple good pitchers, but they don't have a good pitching staff. Think about, and look what I told you at the beginning of the show. They had the last 14 days going into the All-Star break, they had the most strikeouts percentage, the highest percentage. It's crazy. But if they got traded Trout and Ohtani, they could get 8 players. You think think about it. They could get 8 players back for those 2 guys. And I would think that was a number A-Rod threw out, which makes sense. Then in my mind, out of those 8 players, like if 2 teams gave, Ohtani went one place, got 4, and Trout went another, got 4. I guess it could be both the same team. But think about it. 2 of those 4 are going to be players that are in the majors, that are already young and doing well, like a Volpe for the Yankees, like Alvarez for the Mets. We can go on and on, which young players are good. But think about it. Out of those 8 players, they can get 4 legitimate players that are probably better than anybody on their team. Rendon's hurt, but they're probably better than anybody on their team. And, and a couple prospects that will be good. So something, in the back, something that this kid from Cleveland got lit up. Let's see what Craig is saying. Kid versus Cleveland got lit up by the Braves, faced the Royals twice. Yup, and the A's. I like Williams, but a tough spot. Exactly, Craig. We think alike. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we think alike. And you said it better than I did, so we'll move on for that game. I'm going to put that down as a lead, but I'm going to probably get to it. It's hard for me to put a bet in while I'm doing this anyhow. So that's that. So what other game? Okay, so I gave you I'm on Boston, I'm on the Blue Jays, and I'm also on this Met game. Now, my boy Senga, who I listen, he's our best pitcher. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but he's our best pitcher. Numbers wise, he just pitched against those Diamondbacks. His last out, he got picked late for the All-Star game, which was nice to see. 4 out of 5 starts, 3 a few earned runs. His last outing versus the D-backs, he had 12 Ks. At Citi Field, he's pitching under 3 ERA. The Dodgers are pitching Gosselin, which has not been pitching great. His numbers the last few games are not good, but I have a feeling that he's going to pitch a little bit better coming out of the break. The Dodgers are going to go into one of those, basically probably one of these bullpen games, I would assume. I don't see Gosselin pitching much. Let's see what he did the last 3. So he went 15 innings in his last 3. Did give up 7 earned with a 1.50 whip, 11 Ks and 4 homers. Senga, 18 innings. He's been pitching deep. 18 innings, 2.45 ERA, 109 whip, 26 strikeouts to 1 home run. What I did with this game is I took the under first 5 at 5 minus 115. And I'm going to take the Mets. Now I'm going to just dump out of this. And I'm going to take the Mets. Let's see. I'm going to take the Mets today to win the game because I think I said it yesterday that this series is a must series. I said the Mets got to win at least really 2 out of 3, but if they go even 2 out of 4, I think they're in trouble. They're ready to just be done with their season, and it's something that I don't like to see, but that's what's going on with the Mets. And but today I like them. I think that the Dodgers got a lot of issues. The Dodgers got a lot of holes. The Dodgers, we know they're always there in the end, right? But Moose, how you doing, man? We had a good time yesterday. I was talking about how we all had a pretty good games, how we had a good day with the games that we talked about. I know we didn't go over every game that you guys were on. Moose went 7-4 for the day yesterday, so that's a great day. I went 4-2. I doubled up on that Cincinnati Reds first 5 that I was talking about. And I tailed Dave on that Astros game. That was a good call. So, yeah, we had a good, despite Marley's technical issues. And, hey, he shouldn't worry about that crap. We've all been through there when the internet just ain't working, man, and that's just the way it is. But I agree, Moose. I love doing the games with you. I love the way you break down games. You have good insight, and hopefully, and I'm sure we will be doing more stuff together. I'll reach out to even you. You come on with me on a Saturday. We would love to have you. A lot of times, Big Ragu is with me also, so we would love to have you on on the old Light It Up show. Moose brought a good point up yesterday, and about Darvish, the way he has been pitching. I mean, it didn't really apply, I guess, to yesterday, but the way he's been having a problem on the road, and the way he, because he's not used to the catches that they're mixing up the catches, and you don't see that too often. A lot of starters have their own catcher; they pitch to their own catcher. They want that guy, even the Mets. I forget who last year, but they always wanted Nito, who we never want in the lineup, but they wanted him behind the plate. You get used to that. It makes sense, right? You get used to it. You want a team, you get used to your teammates. You're doing, you get used to stuff. And a pitcher and a catcher, people don't think about how important that really is, but it is. And Moose brought up a good point about that yesterday as far as Darvish. It's something to look into with other pitchers in other games because it was a good point. The Mets seem to be getting some money now. They're down. They're at a minus 117. I'm going to add the Mets game into my picks for today. And that's what I am doing. Let's see. Let's go over. Let's see what other games we got. And I'll go over a couple little things that I found out. I did do some bullpen breakdowns before the first half. Obviously not counting yesterday. But 02888 code. Wait, don't say that again. Boom, boom, boom. All right. The weather is weird today. It's hot and humid in New York, just the way it was last night. I don't know. We'll see what happens with this game as far as the total's concerned. But I took the under first 5. I could see the bullpens letting up some runs. If Gosselin pitches a little bit decent, I'll get that first 5 under 5. But bullpens, I got. Let's see. We got the Mariners as number 1. We got Toronto as number 2. We got the Braves as number 3. Who are a couple of the other teams that? Phillies we talked about, number 7. The Astros, number 6. San Francisco, number 5. The Red Sox, number 17, so midway. Padres, number 23. That's the Padres, and I know Moose could definitely talk about that. That's the a little bit of an issue that the Padres have is that bullpen. It'll be interesting to see what happens with some of these teams before this August 1st deadline. It should be interesting. There is one game I'd love to talk about and see if anybody has any insight on this game, and that is the okay, let me put this game in first. And that game is this Marlins game. Now, I said yesterday that I was leading the Marlins, but I was afraid to take them. I thought Sandy would have a decent outing, and he did. But the Marlins bats didn't show up. Baltimore, listen, they came out of the break, and that's impressive when a team comes out of that break and wins right away. I mean, we'll see if they can do that again today. But Baltimore is definitely a team. Be very interesting if they can add an arm to that team, what would happen. But today they got Gibson against Garrett. I like Brad Garrett. He's pitching good on the road. He has some good numbers on the road, even better than at home. And I think last year it was the opposite way. I'm not 100% sure, but I definitely, again, I'm leading the Marlins today. They're at a plus 104. I don't know if anybody else is on there. Moose, what games you on? If you're on any games, let us know. But that's the game I'm on the fence about. So we will see. We will see. So let me see if I can get to this. Okay, so the games that I am on. Okay, so I have 2 question marks. One is the Reds game, and that under kind of has me looking at that under again on the 9-5. But I do like Abbott today a little bit. I know he got the Brewers beat him pretty good one game, but then there was a game where where it was the opposite. Peralta against Abbott. Brewers, we know they're not the greatest lefty hitting team. Last out versus Brewers, he didn't do well, like I said. But let's see. He's had a good. He's been pitching. his home ERA is a 183. Abbott, and he's a pitcher I like. He's a little, a little up and down. We'll see what happens with him, but I kind of lean Cincinnati today. What's the line? -120 now against Peralta. I don't really trust Peralta. I never trust this Brewers team, to be honest with you. I look at the Brewers like I look at and I talk about it a lot, like I look at the Chicago White Sox. They're the types of teams that every time they start getting the good press, they got to start getting the good streaks going. You start expecting them to win, they don't. So it happens a lot. Craig, you like the Marlins? Yeah, Garrett's numbers on the are better on the road. I know I agree with you. I agree 100%, and it's the reason why I don't know why they're +104. Maybe there'll be some late money. If there's a late money drop on them, I might just go with them. Let me see if I can pull up a quick thing. That's the Inter. Strider. We know speaking about Chicago, Lynn against Strider today. What's Atlanta, -300 or something? Garrett against Gibson. Here we go. So the last 3 starts, Garrett, 15 innings pitched, 4.02 ERA, 109 WHIP, 11 Ks, 3 home runs, but they weren't all away games, obviously. Gibson's last 3, 17 innings pitched, 6.11 ERA, 1.19 WHIP, 20 Ks, 2 home runs. Gibson, I like Gibson. I backed him last time. I think he won that game the last time out. I like Gibson, but I think the Marlins are a better team. I think the Marlins are going to these next few weeks are going to show where they're at and if they're going to be able to be. The Marlins kind of look like Baltimore of last year. If you think about it, we know that Baltimore. We all liked what they were doing, and they were the up and coming team that everybody was talking about making the jump this year. We think they're going to. If they could add an arm to that pitching staff before August 1st, that would be a big plus for them. But the Marlins seem to be that type of team, like the Baltimore was last year. They're going to make that step. Again, I don't know if they have the arms to go all the way. Sandy's an issue. Even though Sandy's young, the problem is Sandy has peeled look at Sandy's career. We all know this, but look at Sandy's career, and he's a throwback. He's a pitcher that back in the day would be pitching complete games left and right, consistently going 7-8 innings like most of the pitchers did back in the day. He's that type of pitcher. So there's a lot of innings on that 30-year-old arm, and I don't know if that was an issue with this year. Like I said, he didn't pitch bad yesterday. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but anyhow, he didn't pitch bad yesterday. So that's that game. And let's see if there's any other games. Anybody else on any other game? So this Texas game I'm going to add right now. Let's see what the line is right now with Texas Rangers. Now, BetOnline still has an 8.5. It must have dropped. BetOnline has because I know it opened 8.5 on BetUS this morning, and that's what I do. I use BetOnline and BetUS mostly for baseball. And BetOnline I didn't look at this morning, but I did see 8.5s listed, and BetUS was at 9. Craig said he took it at 9. I wish I knew if BetOnline. I'll have to look it up and see if what they opened at, but I don't mind this 8.5 -120 over 8.5. I'm taking it. Like I said, I was going to take the 9. So hell, why wouldn't I take the 8.5? I think like we talked about, Williams is going to be a good pitcher going forward. He's not. He's going to be a good pitcher going forward. So I think that. And the Reds also. What line did you get, Craig, on the Reds? They're at -120. And that was my other lead. I was trying to look at what I wrote down for the, but I can't find it. I'm all over the damn place. Why I like the under 9.5, but I'll I'll leave that as it is. But I am going to take the Reds. So I added the Reds minus 120, and I added. Let's see. Let's go back to that. I added. Yes. So I added the Marlins. No, let me see. What the hell? My shit's getting all freaky. I added the Texas under 8.5, and I added the Reds minus 120. So my picks for today, like I just meant, right? Gotcha, Craig. Like I just mentioned, got the Reds minus 120. I got the Mets first five under 5. I got the Mets money line minus 120. I got the Blue Jays minus 126. I got the Red Sox minus 105. That's my sweet spot. I don't really. The way is it the way I cap? I don't know. I don't have many dog plays, but I don't go over minus 140 with straight bets. I mean, that's for me. That sweet spot is that minus 105 to minus 120. I seem to do well with those kind of plays. I don't know why. I don't know. That's how I come up. I get to those kind of plays with those kind of numbers a lot, and that's just the way it is. So. Let's see. Before I get out of here, let me see if I can tell you a few little things that might help us going forward. I have a whole bunch of stuff listed. Let's see. First five. I did some things on first five money lines. I fished first five run lines. So let me see. That is first 5 inning run lines. If you just go by units won, the best team in Major League Baseball. So we'll just say if you bet 100 a game, and you bet every game, that's what these units are based on. Basically, you'd be up 25 units with a 25 ROI on the Texas Rangers. First 5 run lines. I talked about yesterday that they're. And that's what I'm. You know what? It just dawned on me too. One of the bets I've won the most on in the first half, which was these team totals over 2.5 on certain teams at home. Texas was 1, the Reds were 1, the Rays were 1, and they did really well for me. And I might go back to that today with Texas with that first 5, but they are dominating the first 5 inning run line. It's Texas, followed by the Braves at 18, almost 19 units. Then the Rays, then the Diamondbacks, number 4. Then the Reds, number 5. The Reds, first 5 run line, you'd be up almost 6 units on that one. Then the Yankees. So it's the top 5, Rangers, Braves, Rays, D-backs, Reds. The bottom 5, Royals are the worst, followed by the Guardians, followed by the Phillies. You'd be down almost 16, actually 16.5 units on Philly if you bet the first 5 run lines in the first half on them. So the number 28 would be Philly, number 29 the Guardians, number 30 the Royals. Some surprising teams on that bottom. This is just do the last 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Starts with the Mets. So number 20, the Mets, you'd be down 11 units. White Sox, down 12.7 units. Athletics. See, the Athletics aren't the worst. Down 13. Minnesota Twins, down 14 units. Padres, down a little over 14, 14.25. Boston Red Sox. I got these numbers at EV Analytics, by the way. Boston Red Sox, then the Blue Jays, then the Phillies, then the Guardians, then the Royals. So those first 5 run lines, yeah. Yeah. Yesterday, Ricky, I was tempted to take the White Sox against because Morton was pitching. And I figured so it didn't work, that theory. I figured there was a lot of guys on the in the All-Star break at the All-Star game for the Braves. So I thought maybe they would. But listen, if there's one dominant team this year, it seems like it's going to be the Braves. I hate. Listen, as you know, I hate saying that, right? So, Full game run lines. Full game run lines. The best team in the league, Major League Baseball, up 26 units. 17.29 return on investments. Cincinnati Reds, best team against the run line, against the spread, against the run line in the Baltimore, number 2. Texas Rangers, number 3. D-backs, number 4. Rays, number 5. Dodgers, number 6. Nationals, number 7. If you notice, the Nationals had a great record of winning run lines in the first half. Now, a lot of times those are those plus 1.5 run lines, too. You got to take that into consideration. A bet I never, ever take. But regardless, on the road, the Nats were killing it against the run lines. The last five, the worst teams against the run line for the season so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue Jays, number 25. Then the Pirates. Then the Phillies. Then the Mets. Then the Royals. Wow. So the Phillies, as far as the run line in the first half, first 5 in full game, the Phillies are terrible against the run line. The Mets are also. Money line. Best money line team. Not the best record. The best record, I believe, is the Braves, right? But money line units won. Bet every game. Say 100 a game. Whatever. Say $10 a game. But say 100 a game. Cincinnati Reds, you'd be up $1,800. It's 18.05 units. Cincinnati Reds with not the best. The Braves got 60 wins. The Reds, this is not counting last night, so that's add one, had 50. So, just add one more to that. But number 2 is Baltimore Orioles. Then the Braves, number 3. Then the D-backs. Then the Marlins. So the Marlins are the 5th best money line team in baseball. For the first half, you'd be up about 13.5 units. The last 5, and then we'll get out of here. Padres, number 25. Athletics, 26. Mets, 27. Cardinals, 28. Royals love that 30th position in just about every category. I did have the first 5 numbers, too, but I can't find them. It's getting late. We've been on for an hour. Let's first light it up. Any best bets for today, guys? Nasty, if you're still with us, what are you on? I see that my boy Tease put up on our Who-Bangin site that he'll be talking about the All-Star game for the WNBA, so that'll be good. Anybody have what they would consider their best bet? Let's put it up. If I had to pick my best bet out of the games today, it's a little bit tough. I don't like picking best bets, but I like the Red Sox a lot today. And I like that over in the Ranger game. So, but we'll see what happens. Thanks to Faux Patashi, RVD 420, Craig Wood, Razor Sharp Picks, Tory Coker, Moose Money, Nasty, of course. Nasty always here, part of the Who-Bangin team. And that's it so far. So, you guys know the games I'm on. I hope everybody has a good weekend. We'll be back. I will be back. Who knows when? Before then, you never know whose show I'll pop up on lately. It's been fun popping up on different shows and just doing some things by the fly. But I'm going to try to take it easy on Sundays for the rest of the baseball season. I'm going to keep my bets down. I talk about the importance of record keeping all the time. If you look at my record keeping, if I eliminated Sundays, I'd be up a lot more money. So there you go. Record keeping tell you a lot. I'm going to keep my bets down on Sundays to 2 or 3, if at all. Who am I kidding, if at all? And that's what I'm going to be doing. But I will be back on Thursday. 10 a.m. for Light It Up. And then I'll be back next Saturday at 10 a.m. for Light It Up. And we will be continue grinding. First half, the show went 31-18. It was almost 9 units won. As far as my My record, I am up now. As of last night, I'm up 21.5 units. But going into the All Star break, I had almost 240 bets in, and I was able to have a good first half. Last year I had a really good first half, and what happened in the second half is I did basically what the Braves got to do. I went like about 500 in the second half, and still had a decent year. So, which normally before that I've been having down 10 units, 5 units. The worst was 13 units, and that was the COVID year my first, but I was be able to rebound in the second half and had a couple good years over the past few years. We've talked about it. Those numbers have all been up on, in Jimmy's chat and on those shows and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, to say that I'm doing pretty good in baseball. I feel like it's a sport that I'm getting better and better at. I never rest on my laurels. I love uh, handicapping with new people, and I'm definitely one of the older guys. And it just, I don't know what happened, when it happened, but I'm one of the older guys, and I love hanging out with the younger guys. Most of my crew here in New York are younger guys, and what you guys bring, as far as sports betting, with your angles and your thinking and your mindsets, how a lot of ways are different than ours, the older players. In a lot of ways, they're the same, and I know you guys have sent me some really nice DMs on learning some stuff from me, and trust me, I learned a lot from you guys too, because and you got to evolve, man. This sports betting game has changed so much over the years that you got to evolve. It's been six. This is 6 years, my sixth season that I have taken Major League Baseball more serious, take sports betting more serious. I changed it into basically a part-time job, um, and that's and so that's what I like to talk about. I try to help out a lot of new bettors or anybody have a little bit of a struggle. I'm always here to help if I can. If I can't, I can probably refer you to somebody that can. We do the Beyond the Odds, a betting workshop that I worked on for a long time. Then me and DJ collaborated, and we did the first one in June about just basic gambling stuff, how you must have discipline, you must have good record keeping, how all stats aren't created equal, things like that. Then we went into the other day our second installment, and that was more towards Major League Baseball, like I mentioned with Connor Mack and Big Ragu and Razor Sharps. And we talked about how we like capping. We talked about what sites are good for research. We talked about what beginners should do, or the beginning sports bettors should kind of concentrate on, and by from starting small by trying to actually start with a bankroll, which I know most of us didn't start with a bankroll. I know everybody talks about bankrolls, but it took me 3 years to get a bankroll, to tell you the truth. How many people say, I'm going to start sports betting and have $5,000 to put aside, or $1,000, or whatever, 500. Usually you don't do that. So I like to talk realistically. When I started to take it serious, I went from a casual bullshit bettor, that would bet the games that we're watching and games that we're going to, and that kind of stuff, and betting a lot more money than I should be betting. I cut it right down when I started taking it serious, and I was going to make a go at this. I cut my size unit down all the way down to $25 a unit, and only every year raise it a little bit. So that's how I do it. I have 240 bets the first half of roughly 200, like 500 bets a season in Major League Baseball, which is about what a lot of guys do, 400, 450, 500. So that's how I did it. I cut it down, and little by little I've been building it up. Discipline's important. Anyhow, my point saying all that is that we're trying our best to help everybody out. The betting workshop Beyond the Odds, keep a lookout. In August will be the next one, and that'll be geared 100% towards NCAA football and NFL. We'll have some guests on. We'll have, of course, Big Ragu and DJ Big Boss will be back with Boss and the Sauce. And, of course, their picks and stuff. They're the college football experts, so we'll be looking for them for that. So that's what's going on with Who-Bangin. A little how this got to do a little boasting about Who-Bangin every once in a while. So that's it. Let me get out of here. I appreciate everybody coming in, and there you go, Comic Ricky. Just to add to the one of the best stock guys that I know, Tesla weekly 300 calls 721. If you guys that know about the stock market will understand exactly what he's talking about. But thank you, Ricky, for that. All right, let me get out of here. Time for me to finish this up and have a good day of baseball. So until Thursday, thanks everybody for coming in. DommyGun, Rici, Who-Bangin Sports Talk. See you soon.